I want to welcome everyone this morning to the opening of Richardson Dilworth Park, in which we're celebrating the 91st mayor of the city of Philadelphia. Between 1951 and 1955, he ushered in the modern era of civic reform as district attorney, and then served as mayor of this city from 1956 to 1962, laying the groundwork for the renewal that we benefit from so much today in the city of Philadelphia. He then went on to chair the Board of Education, so he was deeply engaged in the life of this city in many, many different ways. We're really delighted today to welcome several generations of both the Dilworth and Hill family who are here today, including Richardson Dilworth III, who cut the ribbon on the Phoenix in 1980 at age 8. So delighted to have the Dilworth and Hills family here. If you want to know more about Richardson Dilworth's role, there are many ways you can do that. We have information panels on the walkway over here on Market Street. You will find quotes by and about Dilworth etched into the granite as you walk in at the main entrances. And 2 short films will be playing on our digital screens produced by History Making Productions. If you then want to know more, I urge you to buy Peter Binzen's book. Peter is the author of the recent biography of Dilworth, and he's joining us here as well. Now, there are many people, I will try to be brief, but there are many people who made this project possible. First, let me start by acknowledging the boards of the Center City District and Central Philadelphia Development Corporation, their leadership, John Connors, Joe Zaritsky, Chris Terlizzi, David Marshall, Bob Lane, Ed D'Alba, John Durham, and our founding chair, who I saw here today, Ron Rubin. Please join me in thanking all of them. Second, we had an all-Philadelphia design team led by urban engineers, Olin and Kieran Timberlake. And the drawings for this park were first done as sketches in 2007. Serious design began in 2009, so it took us 7 years to get from idea and image to reality. What I think you will see as you wander through this park is the brilliant job done by our design and engineering teams. They have created an iconic gateway to transit and to SEPTA, and what they have done is reconceive, re-engineer, and refashion William Penn's original Center Square, but updating it for the 21st century. We recycle all rainwater on this site to fuel the fountain and to fuel irrigation. And we recycle granite. When you walk into the concourse, you will see granite from the surface repurposed. And for those people who like to skateboard, you can still skateboard in the old Dilworth Park, which is now up. We donated a lot of granite to Franklin Payne Skate Park. That's where the old Dilworth Park is for skateboarding. Third, I want to thank particularly Pierce Keating, the Daniel J. Keating Company, and all of their subcontractors, the Gilbane Company, who was our project managers on this, and all the members of the building trades who really worked miracles on this site, particularly in the last several weeks. If you want to watch that work, if you go to the screen down at the southern end of the site, you can watch 2.5 years of construction in 1 minute and 30 seconds. It makes you think it was easy, and I want to assure you it was not easy. So thanks to a great construction team, and that is playing every 15 minutes on the hour, quarter hour, half hour, etc. Now, we still have more to do here, as you heard. The elevators will be operational in the next 2 weeks. The lawn behind the fence will be opening around October 15th, and the final tree grove and crossing to 15th Street will open at just before Thanksgiving. Fourth, I want to thank the great staff of the Center City District. That includes our 4 vice presidents, Steve Bussey, Bill Hughes, Tony Pipitone, and Michelle Shannon. Please join me in thanking them and their entire staff. They moved mountains to get us to where we are today. Everybody was here last night working, but they have not only built this project, they programmed this plaza, they put together today's events, and the CCD team will clean this site, will patrol this site, and will provide landscape maintenance. But all of that said, this project would not have happened and would not have been a reality without the leadership of Mayor Michael A. Nutter. The mayor and his team made this project a priority. They supported it legally, they supported it financially, and they have helped structure, I think, a model public-private partnership, how the business community and the public sector can work together to produce and promote and manage quality public spaces that are open to all. So it is my pleasure to introduce the 98th mayor of the city of Philadelphia, Mayor Michael A. Nutter.
I love Dilworth Park. Ladies and gentlemen, we have finally reached this point. I know that from time to time, just a couple million times during the course of the year, folks would say, when is this going to be done? Well, you see a lot of things out here, and then there are a lot of things that you don't see underground that you'll see in a few minutes, and that's the time frame that it took. But I could not be more excited. This is one of the most exciting projects the city has probably seen in the last 50 years or so, and I want to thank all of our public employees, all of the CCD, and certainly Paul Levy and the entire board of the Center City District. Please give them all a big, big round of applause. And we can't provide funding for these kinds of projects without a whole lot of folks involved. And first and foremost, our City Council President is here who supported this project. You'll hear from him. But City Council President Darrell Clark, please recognize him and the great work. And there are a number of other council members who are here with us on the stage. And I will not go through all their names for fear that I'm going to miss one who may have just walked up. But I know I also saw our great Register of Wills, Ron Donatucci, here. Please give all our local elected officials a huge round of applause, and thank you. Everett Gillison, the Chief of Staff and Deputy Mayor for Public Safety, pushed this project along and had primary responsibility for it. Our City Representative, Desiree Peter-Kimbell, is here and worked with us to make sure that people understood what the project was about. But also our Public Property Commissioner, Bridget Greenwald-Collins, who is ultimately responsible for City Hall and the hundreds of buildings in the city's inventory. Please give them all a big round of applause. Thank you very, very much. Our Lieutenant Governor is here, Jim Cawley, and we thank him for his presence and also the support of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, along with Governor Corbett. Please recognize the Lieutenant Governor. Projects like these don't just start and end. There's a lot of planning. There's a lot of support that goes in to these projects ahead of time. And certainly want to thank Governor Rendell, former Mayor John Street, and all of the elected officials over time who have played a role in making sure that this project happened. They all deserve recognition for their work. There's obviously a very strong transportation component to this project. This is, I don't know if this technically qualifies as transit-oriented development, but the bulk of what's going on here actually has to do with transportation. And when that happens, you know that you're going to have our Deputy Mayor for Transportation and Utilities, Raina Cutler, who is here with us today. Raina, thank you very, very much. We started this project, sort of the opening of this project. I seem to remember being in an office building across the street looking down on the project. We had a press conference. That was with then Secretary of Transportation for the federal government and President Obama's first Secretary of Transportation, Secretary Ray LaHood. And I want to thank him for his constant support of Philadelphia. This project doesn't happen but for a $15 million Tiger grant from the federal government, and Secretary LaHood strongly supported that effort, and I want to thank him publicly for his help and support. And that, of course, was followed up by my good friend and former mayor of Charlotte, Secretary of Transportation now, Secretary Anthony Fox. And we thank Secretary Fox for his continued support. You know you can't get money unless it comes through a legislative body. And for that, we have some of the best representatives in Washington, D.C. that we could ever ask for. In alphabetical order, which keeps me out of trouble, those would be Congressman Fattah, Congressman Brady, and Congresswoman Schwartz, two of whom are here with us today. Please recognize our members of Congress who supported this project from start to finish. And, of course, our two senators, Senator Casey and Senator Toomey, we thank them as well for their support on the federal government side. Joe Casey is the general manager of SEPTA, known as one of the best transit agencies in the United States of America. And we thank Joe and the entire SEPTA team. Please give them a huge round of applause. And Joe and his team, of course, work with the Federal Transit Administration, and today the Executive Director, Matthew Welbus, is here with us. Executive Director, we thank you for your support and your presence here today. Again, on the funding side, you know that we could not have done this entire $50 million plus project by ourselves. I talked about the federal support, I talked about state support, but we've also had foundation support. And one of the biggest supporters of so many things here in the city of Philadelphia is Dr. Janet Haas, Vice Chair, Board of Directors of the William Penn Foundation. Please give the William Penn Foundation a huge round of applause. Donna Frisbee Greenwood is with us from the Knight Foundation. We thank her. Paula Freiland, Regional President of Philadelphia and Southern New Jersey at PNC, and Leanne Talbot, Senior Vice President of Comcast Freedom Region. Please thank all of them for their huge support for this project. You may have picked up by now that I'm a little excited about this. This land right here began as Center Square, one of the 5 original public parks laid out in our city, designed by William Penn. The square has evolved greatly since the days of Penn, and now Dilworth Park is the latest chapter in its great history. When I took office, not only as mayor, but probably back in city council days in the early 90s, Dilworth Plaza was increasingly finding itself in a deteriorated status and was not always a place where our Philadelphia residents and visitors could enjoy. Some of the walls were crumbling, there were a number of barriers, and barely any green. The new Dilworth Park makes Philadelphia a more sustainable city by creating a welcome green space on our City Hall's front lawn, big green space will be down there, and Paul talked about that, which will be done later this year. It also helps to make Center City that much more walkable and accessible to all of us by linking the Avenue of the Arts and the Ben Franklin Parkway, connecting the business district of Market Street with the exciting new developments on both East and West Market. New elevators and stairs linking Dilworth Park with Market and Broad Street lines will transform Dilworth Park into a primary Center City gateway. The improvements to Dilworth Park will enhance City Hall's status as the People's Hall. We now have a building that is not only beautiful on the inside, but also we've made it beautiful outside. And while the aesthetic values of our park might be the most obvious, it will also provide many other benefits to our city. The renovations created nearly 1,000 great union jobs here in the city of Philadelphia. And there were a number of minority and female contractors who also had the opportunity to work on this great park. The park will host a variety of family-friendly events throughout the fall, as well as ice skating in the winter. And these events will provide Philadelphians with a fun, safe place to spend their time. In addition, one of the nation's best, Chef Jose Garces, has opened the Rosa Blanca Café, and that will add another great option to Philadelphia's vibrant restaurant scene. Please give a round of applause to Chef Jose Garces. As I talked about earlier, all of this was made possible by so much collaboration at a variety of levels. The Center City District, of course, has been a crucial part of this project at every step along the way. And I want to thank Paul and the Center City District again for the vision, for the dedication as well as their commitment to maintaining Dilworth Park. Through our administration, the city government will work very closely with the Center City District on collaborative and cooperative programming for Dilworth Park so that everyone can enjoy this new, beautiful park. Mentioned earlier, funding from the federal government, the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, the City of Philadelphia, SEPTA, the various foundation, and corporate and private sources enabled the creation of this space so that everyone can enjoy it. I want to thank all of those who contributed to improving Dilworth Park and those who worked hard through many harsh winters and brutal summers to allow our vision of a park to come alive. We look forward to the renovation of Love Park right across the street in the near future, and I'm certainly excited by the growth and development currently taking place throughout Philadelphia, but particularly from City Hall all the way out to the Ben Franklin Parkway and, of course, our beloved Philadelphia Art Museum. There's been a tremendous amount of investment, and there's certainly more to come. So enjoy it, and we'll be cutting the ribbon very, very soon. But this is your park, Dilworth Park. Congratulations.
Thank you very much, Mayor Nutter. Just to his list, I want to acknowledge three people: Alan Greenberger, former Public Property Commissioner Joan Schlotterback, and John Monblack were really great members of the Nutter administration helping us on this. You've heard from the mayor that this project had numerous funding partners, and you've heard that a Tiger grant from the Obama administration not only provided really critical capital, but it caused other funders to sit up and take notice. That was really key to get that type of support. We would not have gotten that support. The mayor has mentioned several people. I also want to acknowledge the late Senator Arlen Specter, who helped us on getting the funding for this. But it's my pleasure to really introduce one of the lead advocates for this project in Washington, a former Mount Airy neighbor of mine, Congresswoman Allison Schwartz.
Well, I'm very proud to be with you today and to be able to stand at almost the finished project and really have been here from the very beginning, understand how important public spaces are to our city, to our great legacy as a green city and a place of public spaces. I do want to acknowledge, I won't acknowledge everyone who's already been acknowledged, but just two, and that is Mayor Nutter for his leadership on the commitment to sustainability, to green works, to public spaces, and to pushing ahead on these projects. Thank you, Mayor Nutter, for your vision, not just for this park, but for the city. And for Paul Levy for his vision, for his determination to make the city a great place to live and to work and to fight for this project in particular. It would not have happened without your pushing every step of the way. So, Paul, thank you very, very much. And Philadelphia is a great city and a great place to live and to work, and it needs great public spaces. You've heard the mention of Tiger grants. I don't know if you all know what that means, but the Obama administration created the opportunity for competitive grants. Not every member of Congress liked this, by the way, because you had to have a really great project and you had to compete nationally for these dollars. And these projects had to be transformational. They couldn't just be maintenance or improvements, and my goodness, the suburban station needed both. But they needed to be able to link people and intermodal kinds of transportation, and it had to change the way people felt about public spaces and transportation and to use space differently. And this is a great example. The billions of dollars that came from the federal government came because this is that kind of project, which is going to help transform this space around City Hall, with the Avenue of the Arts and Market East and West Side of Market being a great place to live, to work, and even if you commute to the city of Philadelphia, and many of my constituents do. So on behalf of the federal representatives, I pushed Ray LaHood, who's a great advocate and who loved this city and was so responsive, and took my phone calls when I called and said, you know that Tiger grant, you know that Dilworth Park, do it. Put this money in Philadelphia, it will make a difference. And he did. So thank you very much to the administration for seeing this project for what it is, and to all of those who pushed it, and for what this is going to mean to Center City, Philadelphia, for all of those of us who love the city, who work in the city, who live in the city, who want to attract visitors to the city. This is going to help promote what Philadelphia has been and its legacy, but not only that, what it is going to be as we move forward to make this city a great place to live, to work, and to visit. So thank you very much to all those who participated. Delighted to be a part of this, and I look forward to enjoying Dilworth Park in its green space in every season, in even this hot one. So thank you very much, and enjoy.
Thank you very much, Allison. Back when I was very much younger, my hair was a different color. When Bill Green was mayor, I met another very young man whose hair was as dark as mine in those days, who is now another major person who we owe thanks for getting the Tiger Grant, Congressman Chaka Fattah.
Well, it is true that in the 1980, we used to work over in City Hall Annex together. Paul was the chief of staff, and I worked for him. But this is a great day in our city. And for the extraordinary leadership team of Mayor Nutter and President of City Council, Darrell Clark, all I would say is that there's only one congressional district in all of America that has received the Tiger Grant in every single round, and it happens to be the best congressional district anywhere in the world, the 2nd Congressional District. So I'm happy that we're here not just to celebrate the announcement of a grant, but actually the completion of the grant work that names Dilworth Plaza, just a few blocks from the Ben Franklin Parkway, what will now become the Bill Gray Station at 30th Street, where we honor those who have contributed by naming public spaces, recognizing that even though they have moved on, we recognize the contributions that they've made. And I want to say to my colleague, Congresswoman Swartz, who's leaving the Congress, we recognize and appreciate the great leadership that she has provided in her public service as a state senator, as a congresswoman, as a former deputy commissioner of health in our city. So today's a great day. Let us celebrate this and let us continue to work so that anytime there's dollars that can help improve a metropolitan area anywhere in America, that Philadelphia is first on the list again, and again. I'll work with you, you work with me. Thank you.
We're going to try to remain conscious that we're in the shade and you're in the sun, and we can turn a fountain on and you'll cool off. So we're going to move this as quickly as we can. But you've heard a lot about federal money, and when people say the federal government, people also think, oh, bureaucracy, time delays. Well, let me tell you very loud and clear that this was not the case here. And this is absolutely serious. Within 2 days of our submitting an invoice to the federal government for reimbursement for Dilworth Plaza work, they sent a check. 2 days. That's a remarkable standard of efficiency, making this project possible. For that high-speed internet velocity, I want to thank the entire staff of the Federal Transit Administration, and particularly to welcome Matt Welbus, who's the Executive Director of the FTA from Washington, D.C. Thank you for your support.
Good morning, everyone, and congratulations on the opening of a great park at the doorstep of a great city. And on behalf of Secretary of Transportation Fox and the head of my agency, the Federal Transit Administration, Therese McMillan, we are really proud to be partners in the opening of Dilworth Park. Now, this park is going to provide not only this vibrant outdoor living space, great restaurants, great access to transit, new fare gates downstairs, it's going to serve thousands of people every day who pass through here on their way to work, on their way to health care, doing important things that you want to get done in a really special space. And it's entirely appropriate. Paul noted this earlier, that we're here at a place where public transportation and a public park come together at City Hall, and it's named after Richardson Dilworth, because I'm kind of loath to tell the people of Philadelphia a little bit about the history of their city, but there's an aspect to Mayor Dilworth that I just want to touch on for a moment. And he was a champion when he was mayor, not only for the city of Philadelphia, but for public transportation in the early 1960s at a moment when not a lot of people were betting on vibrant places. Not a lot of people in 1962 were talking about walkable neighborhoods and places where people could bicycle safely and where people could live their lives taking public transit. That was not the case. He had seen public transportation decline, ridership decline by 50% during the 1950s. And he was the leader among mayors from around the United States who went to the U.S. Congress and said, we need to reinvest in public transportation. We need to revitalize our cities that rely on transit. And through his leadership, the federal government passed the Urban Mass Transportation Act of 1964. So 50 years ago this summer, through his efforts, the transit service you see from SEPTA today and around the country is a result of his endeavors. And it's one more example of people in Philadelphia through the centuries in this country providing leadership to the United States. And you should be very proud that you have this plaza here as an example. Now, Mayor Dilworth believed not only in a federal role funding public transportation, but he believed in local self-help and local investment, and he carried that through. And this project is an example of that, where we've got a federal, state, private partnership that's come together to create this space. And it's been noted that Dilworth Park is a U.S. DOT Tiger project. And the Tiger program is a highly competitive program. I remember reading the application for this project the year it competed. It was one of 1,400 proposals seeking $19 billion, and we didn't have $19 billion, I have to tell you. But this was one of 42 projects that was the best of the best that was selected for funding. And here we are today observing its opening. And projects like this one are often jump-started by federal investment and support. And your congressional delegation, Mayor Nutter in the city, Lieutenant Governor Cawley in the state of Pennsylvania have all partnered with us to make this happen. But we need to make sure that these things continue. And I want to note my Philadelphia office team, they're all here. They work a few blocks away. They're here to celebrate the opening. I think they're particularly here because many of them use this station every day. They all take transit, and they want to be sure it's opening like you are. And it's important that we do have the long-term investments in public transportation and in highways and make sure our surface transportation works. And we're at a pivotal moment right now where you set an example. People here have come together and decided to fund public transportation and surface transportation in Dilworth Park. At the national level, we need a similar coming together to fund our transportation programs into the future. So right now we have a stopgap transportation measure in the United States for public transportation, surface transportation. And the Obama administration has proposed a 4-year program, $302 billion that's paid for, that would increase funding for SEPTA and transit all over the country. And we need to see that commitment carried through. And there's leadership here on the dais that's helped make that happen. We need to bring that to fruition. We want more places like Dilworth Park in Philadelphia, all around our country, bringing new life, new development to our communities. So to everyone who has worked hard to make this Dilworth Park a reality, and I can't wait to see the fountains go into operation in the coming days with the streetcar and subway lines illuminated right here on the plaza. I just want to congratulate everyone who's been our partner in this project and everyone who's going to enjoy using this park and the public transportation connected to in the future. Thank you.
Thank you. So federal government, we move to the Commonwealth. And in this project, frankly, the Commonwealth was our largest funding partner, starting with former Governor Rendell, continuing with Governor Corbett, and all of our friends in this House and Senate in Harrisburg. They provided a significant redevelopment grant to this project and have continued to find ways to support the investment in sustainable design. I'm really delighted to welcome the Lieutenant Governor, to welcome the Commonwealth support, Lieutenant Governor Jim Cawley. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Paul. And as a child of southeastern Pennsylvania, I think this is a great day not only for the Commonwealth and for the people of Philadelphia, but for everyone who comes to visit our great city. I want to acknowledge the very impressive dais of elected officials and leaders from all across the region who are here today to stand in solidarity to say that it is indeed a good day for Philadelphia. I particularly want to recognize some of the sponsors who made this event the important announcement that it is today, including the William Penn Foundation, PNC Bank, and Comcast. Without their substantial support, there is no way that we would be here today. I bring greetings from our governor, Tom Corbett, who joins all of you in saying well done to all who made this project a reality. It is indeed his belief, as it is mine, that recreational activities are important to our Commonwealth's history and specifically important to our urban centers. That's why the governor and I and our administration have been proud to be able to invest such a significant amount of funding working with our friends in the House and the Senate toward making this renewed Dilworth Park a reality. In particular, you often hear, I think it was Mayor Nutter who mentioned that the overall spending on this project is totaling in excess of $50 million. When you have a project that large, oftentimes what you find is there's just a little bit more money left that you need in order to make the project as great as it can be. And the mayor mentioned the front lawn of City Hall and how it's under construction. Well, in order to make that happen, and as an additional investment by the people of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, I'm proud to announce today that the Commonwealth will be investing $850,000 in a Growing Greener grant in order to make that happen. And it's because of this renovation that this section of our city is going to be revitalized. Think about it. Shortly, people from all around the world and from all around our region will be able to relax on a lawn, catch some shade under the grove of trees, cool off on the fountains, in the fountains during a hot day, or ice skate in the winter months. And one activity that particularly caught my eye is not too long from now, and I'll draw your attention to the orange banner, there's going to be an Oktoberfest here. So come on back and enjoy that, because I know I will. The benefits of this new plaza go far beyond just the leisure activities, however. It provides a gateway for public transit that will unite east, west, north, and south, making it easier to use and increase ridership on public transit, creating new accesses to many of our world-class facilities, including our sports complexes and our world-class colleges and universities. And let me say this, anything that makes it easier to get to Temple University is something that I am very interested in. And there's even more good news. It's also about creating jobs for Pennsylvanians. 15 design and engineering jobs and 800 full-time construction jobs. 25 more permanent jobs are expected to be created as a result of this project. Ladies and gentlemen, that is a good investment in our future. We realize, all of us together gathered here, that this is indeed a team effort. And today we celebrate yet another great example of what can be accomplished when the public and private sector work together, when Republicans and Democrats work together, when every level of government works together. Good things happen for the people. And so I'm honored to be part of this event today as we celebrate this new edition, this new chapter in the history of our Commonwealth being staged right here in the city of brotherly love. Governor Corbett and I look forward to continuing to work with all of you so that projects like this one can continue to become a reality all across our great state. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Lieutenant Governor, in particular for that additional support for this project. It's incredibly well appreciated by us. You've heard over and over again, this is a transportation project. We had a great partner in this project. SEPTA is not only being entered here, they did a significant amount of work, which is a prelude to a great deal more work that they will be doing. It's my pleasure to introduce our partner in this transportation project, the General Manager of SEPTA, Joe Casey.
Thank you, Paul. Good morning, everyone. SEPTA is pleased to be part of the celebration of the new Dilworth Park. I'd like to congratulate Paul Levy and the Center City District, as well as Mayor Nutter, on the spectacular transformation of this park, and thank them and the many others from the City of Philadelphia for their cooperative efforts in making this project possible. SEPTA is proud to play a supporting role, and today we were happy to unveil new entrances, fare lines, elevators, and other amenities for our customers who use City Hall Station and 15th Street stations. Thanks to the efforts of the Southeastern Pennsylvania Legislative Delegation and the leadership from Governor Corbett and Lieutenant Governor Jim Cawley, who's here today, SEPTA will continue to work to revitalize the critical transit infrastructure that brings people to this beautiful new park and other points throughout Center City. Thank you. Fran Kelly, thank you. The state's new Transportation Funding Bill, Act 89, will provide the resources for SEPTA to advance the long overdue City Hall and 15th Street station projects. In the coming years, we'll remake this transit hub into a world-class travel center for our customers this region deserves, and the one that provides a full complement to the enhancements here at Dilworth Park. At noon today, I invite you to venture under the park for a quick briefing of our transit entrance renovations, as well as our future plans. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Joe. You know we're standing, as you've heard from the mayor, in William Penn's original Center Square. Congressman Fatah told you we're in the 2nd Congressional District. Well, we're also in the 5th Councilmanic District. And those boundaries stretch north and south far beyond the boundaries what William Penn originally thought about. This project has had strong support from City Council President Darrell Clark. He supported us at Sister Cities. We are delighted to have him in his council leadership role, helping us make this project a reality. Council President Darrell Clark.
Good afternoon. It is afternoon now, not quite. I'll be brief because I can tell you guys are getting real hot out there, particularly those of you who haven't figured out a way to move back in that shade. On behalf of my council colleagues, and we have here, because everybody was very supportive, Councilman Heenan, Councilman Greenlee, Councilman O, Councilwoman Blackwell, Councilwoman Blanda Reynolds-Brown, Councilwoman Cindy Bass, and Councilman Mark Squilla. I would like to say, did I miss anybody? I would like to say thank you so much, and I really want to thank all of the participation. One of the themes of this particular conversation has been the collaborative nature of this progress. And I think that if we collaborate on a number of things, we can probably fix our schools, we can fix some of the issues with respect to our neighborhoods, and we're setting the appropriate thing. You know, working together, federal, state, local. We can get it done, folks. And more importantly, the private sector. So I think that we should take this template and apply it everywhere. Understand what I'm saying? We apply it everywhere so we can get some things and take our city to the level way beyond where we are, because we are really at peaking as a city. I want to say real quick, and I'm going to be quick because I know it is warm. I always got these little stories I got to tell. So, as they said, this thing went back a little ways over prior administrations, both in the state level and on the local level. And I can remember a conversation that we had with Paul Levy some years ago. Before I was a council president, I was just a little guy representing the district and the former mayor. And Paul came to us with this idea. He said, we want to do something with Dilworth, and we're going to do this and do that, you know. I said, well, Paul, how much you anticipate it'll cost? And I don't even think he had a number. I think he said somewhere like $30–40 million. And, you know, we figured it was pretty easy to go along with that because there was nowhere in the world he's going to get $50 million, right? So we signed off. Yeah, Paul, you got it. We're there. Whatever the city needs to do, we're on board. And daggone it, this guy pulled it off, right? He pulled it off. So I just want to commend the Center City District and Paul and all of his team and all the people that work together to make sure that this very important project, not only from the perspective of being able to have a very exciting experience on the top, but creating an enhancement in the transportation node. And one last thing, I got to say, I've been walking in this building for a whole lot of years, and some of my colleagues understand that. And there are days when I just don't feel like going to work. But now, with this going on, I'm coming to work every day. So thank you so much, all right? Thank you. Look forward to experiencing this wonderful experience, all of you, and thank you all for your support.
All right, we're in the home stretch, I promise you. You know, this started with a set of evocative drawings, but we would not have gotten there without the strong support of our foundations. The William Penn Foundation, the Knight Foundation, Donna Frisbee Greenwood, the Greenfield Foundation, Moose Greenfield, all of them, 3 foundations who really are committed to Philadelphia. On behalf of that foundation community, I'm really pleased to introduce the Vice Chair of the Board of Directors of the William Penn Foundation, Dr. Janet Haas. Janet.
Thank you. What a glorious morning to welcome Philadelphia's new Dilworth Park. I'm delighted to be here to celebrate the opening. Let's take a little poetic license. Just for imagine William Penn stepping down from atop City Hall and surveying this space, standing here thinking about Philadelphia as the capital of his new Pennsylvania colony. History, and Michael Nutter just told us that William Penn was a visionary planner. We know about his great urban parks and the value that he saw with green urban spaces and how such spaces would connect the city's people, communities, and economy. Now, with this space nearly complete, it's fitting that from atop City Hall, William Penn surveys the impact of this 21st century town square, a space to engage residents, commuters, and visitors of all backgrounds and all ages. Everyone in commerce, transportation, recreation, culture, and more. For William Penn Foundation, Dilworth Park is a great example of a key foundation strategy. In addition to our focus on Philadelphia's public schools and students, and also on the Delaware watershed, which provides drinking water for all of us and 15 million more people, we focus on great public spaces. We want to help create civic spaces that matter, that are interesting, enjoyable, and appealing to people across the city and region. Dilworth Park is a place like that. And it's a double-header. Many have talked about the private-public partnership that went into this. We at William Penn, when Paul Levy approached us, also wondered, how's he going to pull this one off? But we said, all right, let's see what can happen. And lo and behold, we said, let's get more public money, more private money into this project. It's almost entirely public money. So our grant was structured to require one-to-one match from citizens, individuals, organizations, and corporations. And more than 100 joined in the effort. Thanks to all of them. So what remains to be done? Enjoy the space. Stroll through it, enjoy a performance here, play here, meet here, dine here, relax here, and have fun here, and commute to wherever you're going from here and to here. Thank you.
All right, I promise you just 2 more speakers, but really important because they've been essential to the project. You heard about a lot of private sector support. I want to acknowledge Chris Terlizzi and First Niagara, the first major private sector funder to step forward. PICO and Mike Innocenzo, they've sponsored our information center here. Craig Spencer from the residents at the Ritz, but our biggest private sector partner who helped us in many ways was PNC Bank. 3 really significant ways. 1, a construction grant. 2, supporting our weekly concert starting next Wednesday live at lunch. And 3, they were our construction lender. And just to stretch it out a tiny bit, I apologize, but when we put together a fundraising movie, the former VP, Bill Mills, recorded something that has been a real important message for us. It was a challenge to our foundation and business community. Bill said at the time, if you are not part of this park now, you're going to look back on it and ask, how did we miss this? Why did we not get involved sooner? So for those of you who have been sitting on the sidelines, who maybe shared some of that skepticism that Council President Clark mentioned, this park is real, this park is here, and we still have opportunities for sponsorship and a great piece of public art, so you still can be part of Dilworth Park. But PNC was there early, they were there often, and it is my pleasure to introduce the new Regional Vice President of PNC Bank for Philadelphia and Southern New Jersey, Paula Freiland. Paula, thank you very much.
Thank you, Paul, for the kind words. And on behalf of my PNC colleagues in Philadelphia and Southern New Jersey, I'd like to add a warm welcome to our neighbors from the community. An additional word of thanks also go to, of course, Paul, Mayor Nutter, and Lieutenant Governor Cowley for the opportunity to be here with you this morning. This is my first event in the city as PNC's new regional president for Philadelphia and Southern New Jersey, but it is not my first time here at City Hall. I began my career with PNC here in the city in 1990 at a time when this plaza looked quite a bit different than it does today. And it's really thrilling to be here, both to see and to be part of the transformation, really the rebirth of this space as Dilworth Park. Our support and involvement with the park really combined both our business expertise in our public finance area as well as our philanthropic focus in Philadelphia. A quick word of thanks to my colleagues in our public finance group, J.T. Hutchinson, Mark Quinn, and Nick Aponte, as well as Cheryl Johnson, who are here in the audience. They worked tirelessly to bring everything together for the public financing component. Great job.
Hello, everyone. I think I might be the last speaker, so I'll be real short and sweet. So on behalf of Comcast, we're so honored to be here today. I don't have to tell you that Philadelphia is a very special city. Do you agree? Yeah. Well, it's very special to Comcast because this is our hometown, and we're very proud to be from Philadelphia. And so today we're also very proud to be the sponsor of this wonderful opening ceremony. And as Paul said, we want to help people stay connected. So today, Xfinity Wi-Fi kicks off in the cafe and will soon be available throughout the park. Again, helping people stay connected to what's important to their lives. So on behalf of Comcast, we're just so thrilled to be part of this special day in this very special city. Congratulations.